Hi there, this is David and welcome to my game room update. I have quite a bit of stuff to open up and share with y'all today, so let's go ahead and get started. As some of you know, because I did make a YouTube short about it, my retro video game store, Retro City Games, does these sidewalk sales where they put a lot of games on sale on the sidewalk, and they're $2.50, and I was able to get quite a bit of pretty cool stuff during that sale, starting with this little magazine right here. This came out whenever Dragon Quest XI came out, Echoes of Elusive Age S, and this is from NF, which is Nintendo Force. I've never really heard of this magazine, but it has a huge spread on Dragon Quest. What's it going to take for Dragon Quest to succeed in the West? It has stuff on Ni no Kuni, The Legend of Zelda, and then it goes through the quest for success with Dragon Quest, and it gives the history of each Dragon Quest game. And as many of you are probably aware, Dragon Quest is my favorite series of all time. I've loved it ever since I played the very first one on the NES before I could really even read. Like, I have been enamored with this series. So whenever I saw this, and I think that this was actually only $2 at the time whenever I picked it up, I was like, yeah, I have to have this. Never really heard of it, but hey, whatever, who cares? It's about Dragon Quest. So yeah, $1.99, I picked this little bad boy up. Then, in my quest to get as many Nintendo powers as I possibly can and collect them all, like, you know, I'm Pokemon for Nintendo Power, essentially, I grabbed some more Nintendo powers. These were $2.50 each for both of these Nintendo powers that I just had to grab to add to my collection. You really can't beat the price. Then I was at a different game store, and I was able to pick up a guide for Grandia 2. This is the Grandia 2 Perfect Guide. And I go there, and the guy's like, oh, you're getting more strategy guides? And I'm like, yeah, you know how I am. I have the strategy guide for Grandia 1, but I was never actually able to get the strategy guide for Grandia 2. This one cost me a pretty penny. I want to say it was $40 to grab this guide, but it's fully complete. It looks really nice, and it even has the poster in the back still in there. It's completely complete and very nice, and I'm really happy to have that because one of these days I do want to stream Grandia 2. I did stream Grandia 1, so it'll be 2's turn soon enough. Then for $10, I picked up Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner, Rado, Kuzunoa, and the Soulless Army, the official strategy guide. It's kind of a little bit beat up. It's not in the best condition that I've ever seen in my life. Like, look at this back. It's kind of like all torn up or whatever. But for $10, considering it was originally going for $20, apparently, whenever it was first on sale, and considering how rare these SMT strategy guides are, I thought, you know, why not? I've got to pick this one up. Then, for $30, I grabbed a Tales of the Abyss strategy guide. This is why I always keep the price tags on everything that I buy, so I can go back and I can look and be like, how much was this again? And then be like, did I do a good investment or not? You know what I mean? And Tales of the Abyss is actually one of my favorite Tales games of all time. I love the vast majority of the Tales series. There's only a couple here and there that I think are kind of poo-ish. But for the most part, they are all fantastic, and Tales of the Abyss is really the one that made me fall in love with the Tales series. It's the one where I kind of realized that the Tales series was a real series, because I got Tales of the Abyss and Tales of Legendia at the same time, and then it kind of hit me. Oh, these are part of the same series. They're so similar. I don't know why I didn't make that connection before. Then, back to my sidewalk sale that I was talking about. We're going through this kind of quickly, I've got to say. These are some kind of weird things that I got, some esoteric things that I got, but whenever they put these things out there and there's 20, 30 people all rummaging through these plastic bins and you're trying to get your hands on whatever you can get your hands on. There's a lot of like sports games and stuff that you kind of have to just rifle through to get to the good stuff. So it's kind of hard to find some cool stuff, but I did. I grabbed Dragon Buster for the Famicom. It's priced at $10, but again, this was $2.50. This is a game from Namco, and I knew of it because it's actually a mini game in Tales of the Abyss. And it's like a little golden cartridge, and I thought, this is just kind of like a piece of history. I don't have a Famicom, and I'll never actually play it physically, but again, it's just interesting to have as like a little footnote in history as far as Namco is concerned. Then at the bottom of this little, plastic Tupperware box, I found this Tales of Xillia 2 little pouch thing right here, and I thought, you know what, I like Tales of Xillia, I like the sequel, I think that they're pretty cool games, and this little commemorative pouch, I'm not really sure, this must have came as some collector's edition of some sort, I'm not entirely sure, maybe one of you guys out there know and can let me know in the comments what this thing came with, but I just thought it was kind of interesting, and I'll probably just put this back on my shelf somewhere, maybe I'll even put it in my Tales of Xillia box that I have. Then, again, for $2.50, even though this is marked at $8, this is the original Popolo Croix for the Japanese PlayStation. We never actually got this game in America, because Sony of America was saying that everything released in America has to be 3D, and Popolo Croix was 2D. So even though it is absolutely fantastic, we didn't get it. We instead got Beyond the Beyond. Yeah, I know. The only way that we were actually able to get this release was on the PSP, where we got kind of a combination of Popolo Croix 1 and 2 put together into one game. So I am happy to have this in my collection. Again, I'll probably never play it. It has been fan translated though, so I could emulate this. But again, this is just interesting for me because I love Popolo Croix and I just had to have it in my collection for $2.50. You really can't say no. The final thing that I picked up at this sale was the Japanese version of Dragon Quest VIII. Looks like it was selling for $10, again, $2.50. I have the actual boxed version of this American release still in my collection. It came with, I want to say, the Final Fantasy XII demo, and I just like the box art. I just think that this is kind of cool. I figured I'd pick it up as part of my collection just to have. It has this little, Gan thing in it. It has a little ad for Radiata Stories, Front Mission Online, Kingdom Hearts Chains of Memories in there as well, and then, of course, the instruction manual, too. So it's a nice, good, complete edition of one of my favorite games of all time, so I just could not pass this one up. Then, I recently had a friend from San Francisco, Hoff, he came over and he visited me, and he gave me a gift whenever he came, and it was super sweet, super nice of him to give me a boxed copy of Star Tropics. Yeah, look at this. I never actually had Star Tropics growing up as a child. I rented it from Video Wonderland. We didn't have Blockbuster Video in teeny tiny Appalachia, Ackworth, Georgia, but we did have a Video Wonderland inside of a Kroger. So I rented it from there, and there's Star Tropics, and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of like Zelda, but more RPG-ish, if you know what I mean. It still has the instruction manual in it with kind of the wacky artwork and all that, and even more rarely than that, it has the letter right here from Uncle Steve together. It's kind of falling apart, and the reason why this letter is so rare, for those of you who are unaware, is that what you had to do was take this letter and submerge it into a pool of water, and then like an invisible ink would emerge and it would give you a code to continue on with the game. And I think that that was the game developer's way of saying like, hey, if you're renting this game, you can't continue on because you're not going to have this letter. So it was their way of saying, you really better buy the game. Although I do remember there was an article in Counselor's Corner in Nintendo Power with somebody saying, hey, what's the code? I can't get through here. I don't have the letter. And they just gave the code in Nintendo Power. I do recall that. But that letter is very rare to actually come with this. And I do thank you so much. Another gift that was sent to me, this is by Cutmaster. He crochets, and he sent me, if anybody knows who this is, I will just let you know. This is part-time worker Mary from Final Fantasy IX. I think it's hysterical. I remember he's on my Discord, and he was showing this to me, and he was like, who is this? And I said, is this Arius from Final Fantasy VII? I'm not really sure. And he's like, no, it's part-time worker Mary. And he actually owns a bar, and he sent me some little shots too, which I'm not going to show here. But I do drink those shots on the Twitch sometimes, and packaged in with those shots was part-time worker Mary in all her glory. So I'm going to have to put her up on the shelf. He also crocheted, you can see it behind me, over there, right there. There is a Mr. Saturn that he crocheted for me as well, sitting on my shelf over there too. So thank you so much, Cutmaster. Then I was casually mentioning that I was considering playing through the Mana series over on Twitch. And lo and behold, what shows up in my mail but Collection of Mana! Collection of Mana for the Nintendo Switch. This is from Jeffrey Kaiser. Thank you so much for sending this. Thank you. My P.O. Box is in the video description. This is how people send me this stuff, and I really appreciate it. This is like, it just boggles my mind. The things that I'm sent right there. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to use that to play through the Mana series. Thank you so much, Jeffrey Kaiser. And then the last thing that I want to well, actually there's more than that I want to talk about, but something I personally picked up, Pokemon Violet. This is the copy that I got because, you know, Dr. Daddy is in it. You have to have the one with Dr. Daddy. Why not? I picked up Pokemon Violet to play through, which I really am thoroughly enjoying. The last thing that I want to show all of y'all, if you recall, last time I came to you guys, I got a box from Atlas, and they sent me this little postcard, and it said that you could redeem this little QR code for a Persona 5 SHUJIN Academy blazer. And then I promised you that I would come on wearing that blazer. So the blazer has come, and let's put it on. We could do some little modeling, walk the catwalk, I suppose. Let's see. We have it right here is the blazer. Let me go ahead and put that on. There we go. There we go. Looking good. Looking high fashion, I've got to say. This is super cool, super sweet. Have my little Persona 5 blazer right there. Looking all nice and dapper. Very, very cool. So I just wanted to thank all of y'all for watching. Thank you so much for the gifts that you've sent. This is just very humbling and amazing experience for me. And probably the next time that I'll come to you with some more Game Room updates will be Christmas. It should be a lot of fun. I will see all of y'all then. And of course, have a good day.